Come here, buddy. Tell everybody. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for more doggy content. Chompers, what do you gotta say for yourself? Huh? Huh? Goofy dog. You are a goofy dog. Alright, Nomies, we got a fun little project going on here. We're over here with the
Hey everybody.
Hi, Brittany.
Hey there.
And I don't know if you recognize this room from some of our other videos, but there used to be a gas fireplace right there. And now we got a window. And over here, we're getting ready to put in a wood stove. And we got this all prepped here. And Brandon had set this tile for this base once already. But it didn't work out too well. What happened, Brandon?
I don't really know. I'm not a tile guy, but I think we mixed the mortar a little wrong and nothing stuck.
Nothing stuck. So they all came popping loose.
Three stuck.
It happens. So he ripped it all out. He put some new Durarock down, and he said, "Naomi, you know how to do tile. Help." So here I am, helping. And we got our mortar here. He's already got all his tiles cut and ready to go because he already did this once, so that makes it a little bit easier. So basically, we're gonna get this set up here. We're gonna teach him a trick or two because that way he doesn't have to call me next time. Because old Nomi ain't gonna be around forever, and he's gonna learn a little bit, and we're gonna have some fun. So let's get things set up. Get her done. Let's tile. Welcome something. To the Gnomestead. Alright, Brandon's gonna get the bag open here. Now, one thing that's important when you're mixing this stuff up is you want to have some water in the bottom of your bucket first. And we're probably only gonna do like 1/3 of a bucket because our drill isn't that strong. So let me put a little bit less water in there just in case. Because we can always add, you can't take it away. So go ahead and start dumping that in there, Brandon. I'll tell you when to stop. Let the smoke clear. Grab your drill. Hopefully this drill will do what we need it to do. You got it on one?
Yep.
And you want to mix this for about 3 to 5 minutes. You want it the consistency of thin peanut butter. Alright, that's our initial mix. We did that for about 3 minutes, and 2-3 minutes. Now we got to do what's called letting it slake, which is letting it sit, get all that hydration going on with the mortar and everything. And that's 5 to 10 minutes, and we'll get back to you. Second mix on that for about 2 minutes. And while he's doing that, I'm spraying this Durarock down with water. The way this glue works is water is a chemical reaction with the mortar. So if this stuff is too dry, it'll suck the moisture out of the mortar and it won't stick as good. So this is just a little tasting measure. Don't need much. Alright, now that we got this all moistened down, you can see how fast that dried up. It really sucks in the moisture, so that'll help us out a lot. Now, normally I use a trowel, but we don't have a trowel, so we're probably going to just use this. Probably don't. Alright, the first thing you want to do with this stuff is you want to get a nice, even, flat coat. As far out to the edges as you can. Especially up front here, because that's where you get pressure on the tile and it can pop up. You really want to push this down into the Durock or Hardy board. Get it good adhesive. And 45-degree angle. Hand me the first tile, Brandon.
Yeah, spacers too?
Does it go like that?
Yes.
Now, one thing I like to do is I'll set them here. I don't know if you can see this, Brandon, or not.
I'm watching.
But I'll set it like this, and I'll drop it into place.
Here's edge pieces.
Now, you said you did a 1/16 of an inch there?
Yeah.
Originally?
But I think the top might be thinner than the bottom, but it doesn't matter. Is that right?
It should be. Well, they're about the same. Alright, next tile. You know what goes where. 4. Trick is even ridges like that. And another thing is, like, if you got tile up against there, I'll go like that to clean it off.
Keep the crap out from the...
Yeah, that way it doesn't get in between. That way?
That way.
Alright, we're just basically laying these back out the way they should. They're all numbered and marked. You get the idea. I'll show you what it looks like when we're done. Alright, that's how much we got with our first batch of mud. We're going to need to mix up a little bit more. So, if this happens, you always want to make sure you scrape off all the mud that's on there, because that's going to dry and set by the time you get your new batch mixed up. And yeah, surface prep. Get these tools cleaned up, because again, they'll start drying out. Another thing too is, since this stuff is sort of like time activated, if you mix new mortar in a dirty bucket, it's going to flash faster because the old mud is still in there and it's activating. So you always want to start with fresh, clean stuff. Make sure if you take a break, you clean all your tools off. And yeah, then we'll get back to it. Well, there it is. They're all in. What do you think?
I think it was great.
I think we did it right this time.
I think we did it right this time.
I think we did it right this time. So we're going to let this set, and I'm going to come back this evening about 5-6 hours, and we're going to grout this sucker. We got to get a stove in here. So stay tuned for the stove video, because we got that out in the garage. I've been doing a restore on it, working on it for a little while. And it's almost done. We're just waiting on a few parts. In the meantime, we're gonna get this done, get her ready. And don't forget to like, subscribe, comment. Yeah, that's the ticket. Huh. That's the ticket. Huh. You're such a cute dog. Yes, you are. Uh-huh. Alright, Nomies, we're back at it. We got all our tiles settled in here. It's down nice and secure. Got an issue with putting tile around the edge, but we're going to deal with that. We'll show you. Not right this second, because next thing we're going to do is put our stone up against the back wall to protect it from fire. With the stove sitting here. Now Brandon did put a bead of fire caulk around there, just to make sure if ever a spark or anything goes down there, it doesn't get down there and smolder and cause a fire in the future. Better safe than sorry. As you can see, that's all done. Now this is the kind of stone that we're going to be using. And it's just a faux stone. Sort of lightweight. Got a nice little texture to it. And we got some corner pieces there. Then we got some straight ones. Before we get too carried away, we got some metal studs that we're going to put up against here, because we're going to have a 1 inch gap, or 1.5 inches, because it's an 1.5 inch stud. 1.5 inch gap between the wall and the hardy board and the stone. And we're also going to put an air gap underneath and on top, so air circulates behind it, so it never gets hot, too hot, and starts burning the wall. Not that it ever will, but again, better safe than sorry. Plus, these are the UL rules that you should use when you're putting in the stove, because this house is insured.
Unfortunately.
Well, fortunately and unfortunately. And if you want your insurance to cover in case there's ever an emergency, you guys still got to do stuff right. Otherwise, they'll say, so we're doing it right. All right, let's get our stuff together here, and I'm going to mark out the walls, the uprights, the proper height, and we'll start getting some metal studs on here. Okay, nomenclatures, when you're dealing with metal studs, you've got a metal stud, which is that shape right there. It's got this little on the edge. But in order to secure this, you need to put it in a track, which does not have those on it. And this slides right inside there. So let me get the camera set up. I've got all of my studs marked. And basically we're going to put some glue on the back of these, hold it up to where we want to, drive some screws in it, and those go on first, and then we'll put our studs on. Alright, basically now we're using some liquid nails. What do they call it? They call it Fuse It. It's good for metal and wood. That's why we picked that one. Put a bead on here. And that's how it'll go right with that. Alright guys, you get the idea. I'm going to put a full track on either end. I'm going to put a piece at the top, a piece on the bottom, then we'll cut our studs and slide them in there and screw them to it. Okay, we got the tops in, let's get the bottoms in. These are just going to slide right inside here. Put them to the height we want. Screw in here, screw in there. We're ready for a dirt rock. Moving right along. Do-do-do. Okay, there we go. All of our studs are screwed into the track. Nice and solid. They ain't going nowhere. No place. No how. No way. So we're gonna put our Dura rock on here, and then we'll get this wall done. Brandon's driving the screws. We've got our gap up here for air circulation. Gap at the bottom. And then first piece is on. And we just gotta do this one right here. Alright, now here comes the fun part. We got corner pieces. We got straight pieces. 3 different widths. And what we got to do is we got to cut our corners so they're the right thickness, because this little tail is a little bit longer. So we cut them like that so they fit flush up against the wall. That's our tiny piece that goes down there. And then we've got a board in here to support our first 2 rows, because we're going to get these first 2 rows in here. We're going to let them set up overnight, get them nice and stuck good. That way all the tile, all the stone and tile that we put up above it gets held nice and good and doesn't sag off the wall. So, but here's the fun part, Nomies, is the corners. Brandon's gonna mark all these. We gotta cut this piece off here. But the way these corners come together is you got a wide one, and then you gotta figure out which 2 widths go up against that one. And then when this next one comes in here, it's going to be a different edge. So we're going to have to go up, and this is going to be a very time-consuming process. Figuring these out, but we got it. Ain't no hill for a stepper. So let's get a bunch of these laid out, figure out what we're going to do, and then we'll
jack it up.
show you how we start it away. Alright, we're back at it today. Brandon's doing some fitting because my brain started hurting.
My brain hurts too, Dave.
Yeah, but you got a younger brain. I don't think you abused it as much as I did mine.
Probably not.
But yeah, we're just figuring this out, guys. It's a long process to try and keep things looking random with only so many sizes to work with. We got them all laid down on the floor here. So that's what we're doing. When we're ready to start gluing, we'll get back to you. Another couple rows in. Keep doing the same thing. Over and over and over.
Jack it up.
Things you're gonna have to do before we're done. There'll be a mantle that goes up there. We gotta grout everything, of course, and then we gotta trim out around down here. Hopefully, we got enough stone to do it. We went through an awful lot of stone. Got a lot of stone to go. Anyway, let me set you up here on the trinket. Turn on the his skid.
Sees it again. In the ash in the air is my eyes stinging, and I can hear the winter slowly awakening.
Alright, now we got all of our last 2 rows all figured out. They're just sitting here. Brandon's mixing up the last batch of mud. Get this done, and this project is almost ready to wrap up. Bring the stove in.
The early frost and the things that I've loved are the things I've lost. The wheat from the chaff, the sheep from the goats. This year I'm becoming my own home. This year I'm becoming my own.
There we go. The last of the rocks in. Now we just gotta do down around here from the bottom. Get everything grouted. And then we'll bring the stove in. Or have someone bring the stove in.
Yeah, I think it'll be
We ain't doing it. Nah.
professional to do that one.
Professionals, yeah. Alright, show you what's going on here. Next is next. We got all that stone in. Just need to let that top 2 layers dry, set. We got everything cleaned up good. We got cleaned up under there for our air gap. See, air is going to go in there and then float up the wall and keep everything from burning. So that goes across there. We did have one tile right here that we were going to replace because it had a big chip on the edge of it. No good. And the only other thing we got to do is we got to put the stone around the base here before we can put our trim up here. And this was a little cattywampus because the framer must have been drunk at the time. But we got it repaired. We shimmed it, tapered it down, so brought it back to where it's supposed to be. So next thing we need to do is put our hardy board on there. Yeah, that chip right there. We had to pull that tile out because somebody chipped it out. Don't know who it is. You can blame the tile guy. Anyway.
Can't blame the guy who cut the tile.
Yeah. Alright, that's what we got going on. That way, when we mix up our mortar for the face stones down there, glue that in, glue our 2 little pieces in down there, and we're good to go. Ready to grout.
Okay, Dan. I think we're going to cut it in 8 inches.
Helping, Butters?
Yeah, he's very much helping.
Let's see this.
This year I'm
A good helper, Butters. You are. Alright, now we're working on fitting our stones around the base here. Where they come together at the corner. Where this is off 45-degree angle. We got to cut those stones at an angle and make them look right. So it's going to be half of 45, which is 22 and a half, and that's what we're cutting on those. We'll show you how we set this all up. Alright, we got our wet saw here. And this little wet saw is an awesome little saw. It doesn't have too much adjustability. It's got a setting for 90 degrees, which is straight up and down, and a setting for 45 degrees, which is 99% of the 2 cuts that you need. But we need 22 and a half. So what I did here is I set this at 22 and a half. What that also means it runs into our table. So I had to lift it up so it didn't cut our table. We still got to cut our block all the way. So I put a piece of hardy on here, or Durarock on here, spaced it up, so now I can cut my 22 and a half. It works good every time. Get the shot.
Oh no. Alright, where's running into where?
Right here.
Yeah. Oh. What's that?
Alrighty, Nomies, we got everything cleaned up. Ready to grout this tile down here. We're gonna need to get a pastry bag to grout all this. But we got our stones around the front. All set. Did that last night. Looking good. So let's get to grout. Alright, Nomies. This is pretty simple and straightforward. Mix your grout up. Consistency of peanut butter. And one thing you want to do is you want to make sure you wet down all of your joints. Because if these are too dried out, the grout's going to suck down inside there and crack and not look very good. So wet down the area you're going to use. Scoop some of this fine grout out. Push it down into the joints. You want to do it on a 45-degree angle in multiple directions. Once you get it all worked down in there, you want to go across it, 45-degree angle. Scrape off your extra. Here's that.
Out on the gnomes that I plant my dreams with a fishing rod and rusty jeans. Salmon in the stream by
Go ahead and put more water in there for wiping it down. Probably about half full.
Long dark winters, northern lights flame. Summer stay awake for the midnight day. Preserving food for the infant night. And Alaska's
Alright, there's our first coat in there. All pushed down in nicely. We'll let that sit for about 3 or 4 minutes. And we'll wipe it clean, see if we need to do another coat. Alright, this is simple. You don't want too wet a sponge, but you want to wipe stuff off, and you do the same thing. You go 45 degrees, flip your sponge. Just like that. Work it down into the joints. Clean your sponge often.
Fishing for my dinner and I see streams. They didn't simple by my own means. No cities hustle.
As long as you stay on a 45, you're not going to dig your grout out. If you start going this way and this way,
Okay.
you'll dig the grout out.
Makes sense to me.
There you go, buddy.
All right.
You only learn by doing.
All right. Let's figure it out. By figure it out, I mean do exactly what you were just doing, but
Yeah.
so 45.
Yep, 45. Work it down into the joints. Clean the residue off. And the way it's looking, I'm probably going to want to throw one more coat on there.
You're just trying to make more work for me, aren't you?
Yep. Experience. Looking good, though. Looking good. Alright, let's take a look at this real quick. I don't know if you can see it or not. But it has settled down into the cracks just a little bit. Just normal. So we're going to go through here. If you can see it or not. But we're going to go through here and put another coat on it. Do the same thing. Fill them cracks up. Easy peasy. Lemon squeeze. Until next time.